Hello, everyone. Welcome to MTX Podcast. My name is Harshit. I am the co-founder and the chief operating officer at MTX, and also a managing director for our India operations.
Hello everyone, I am Sapna Verma, Director People Office at MTX, and we thought that it will be fun to sit down and talk openly about what drives us as leaders, our culture, people, technology, and also talk a little bit about our personal growth.
Absolutely. We will share some insight and maybe few laugh along the way.
That's wonderful. So, Harshit, I would quickly want to ask you one interesting question, which I think a lot of people would also be interested to know. You've been leading India operations for quite a long time now, and what we want to know, what has been your leadership philosophy, because company has grown globally now. So, is there any change in your leadership philosophy?
Great question. Absolutely. My philosophy has evolved over the past few years and it will continue to evolve as the company expands. So, when I started leading the India operations, my main philosophy was the execution. I was mainly focusing on excellence, delivery excellence, driving the results. That was the main philosophy. But ultimately, I realized when a company was expanding, I realized that I should focus more on the alignment and the culture and the trust that between the team and the because there is a lot of geography expansion was there. So now my major focus is on, instead of being a controller, I want to be a enabler for the people. That's what I do believe in, and through that I just want to make sure that I should be focused on giving the clarity context to the people so they can take the wise decision by themselves and they can drive the success for us. The another big part of my philosophy is the listening. As we are in the global, we are a global company, so it's very important to listen to all the things that's happening across the global in the different subsidies of our organization, just to make sure that I'm listening to everyone and providing the enough information for everyone so they can take the wise decision. The third thing that I do believe in, enabling people along the way and making sure that they are getting the enough support from the leadership, and creating an environment in such a way that people are feel empowered so they can have a conversation not with their colleagues sitting in the office but to the entire leadership across the global, and so they can understand what's the bigger purpose of the organization so they can grow along the way organization is growing.
I think you have summed it up really well. And I also believe that when organization is small, it's easier for everyone to stay connected. But as we grow bigger, right, it's very important that we maintain the connection, right? And then we provide the transparency and growth paths to the people. So that's how, we are going to succeed together with our people.
Definitely. We often talk about the culture in the organization. So, what's unique in our culture? And as we are the global organization, so what's your perspective on that?
This is something that I have said it multiple times before, and recently we've been doing, campus placements, fresher hiring, and whenever I go at campuses, I always make sure that I share this with everyone because I consider this as a USP of MTX, right? All of the teams that we have structured in the organization are global. So today, if we are hiring anyone in Hyderabad, they just don't work with team in Hyderabad. They work with the global team. They have an opportunity to work closely with the team in US, Australia, and Canada. So this helps everyone to not only grow professionally, but then it also helps everyone grow personally. I think another opportunity that we provide to everyone is the that we are sponsoring visas of the people. Like teams, people come from US to India, then from India to US, and this kind of gives an opportunity for people to travel, come here, and then sit with the team, share their thoughts, ideas, and work collaboratively, and then learn from each other and share their experiences on the ground. All right, so generally people think that strategy and culture, these are two separate things, but I believe that both of these things go hand in hand, right? So how do you make sure that strategies, global strategies or business strategies that you are making, it is aligned with the company values and people practices?
Honestly, that's where leadership shows up. That how you are making sure that what kind of strategy you are building within the organization, that and that's where we think that what we want to achieve first, and is it aligned with our core value or not. So whenever in our organization, whenever we are building a strategy, we always make sure that we have a transparency and open communication. So at the time when we are working on any strategy, we make sure that we are giving the enough information to the relevant team so they can take informed decision ahead of time and help us to achieve the goal that we want to. And in short, I don't see strategy and the uh, culture two separate things. It's always go hand in hand. It's I always see that as a loop, uh, one end of another loop, and that's how we are driving it, giving the more transparency and the context ahead of time to our people, so they can drive the success for our organization.
So, Harshit, technology is evolving fast, right? We've been working on Salesforce, now we have Microsoft. So, how do you ensure that the product development is keeping pace with the quality and then also with the innovation?
This is a very relevant question in these days, because technology is evolving way faster than before. But our philosophy is three things that we do care about. First is we really stay close to our customer. Our team is in constant touch with our customer, making sure that we are solving the real problem. So that's the first thing we always make sure. The second thing is creating an environment in the organization where people think more about innovating fast and fail first. So if something is not working for our customer and not adding the value, so we can get away from that and start focusing again on the things which is adding the value to the customer. Third thing is engineering excellence, where we do have a certain processes and the automation in place which is keeping quality in check. But ultimately it's all about mindset, that how you are looking at the technology. In our organization we make sure that uh, whatever we do, we solve the real problem and help the customer, which can add the value for them at the end of the day.
Okay. So, as long as we are, solving a problem, we are always going to make an impact.
Yes, definitely. I have one question. So, from the HR, as you are leading the HR practice, so I just want to understand that when you are hiring, how do you make sure that you are building the right technical team? They can not only code, but also innovate at the same period of time.
All right. So this is one of the major focus area for many organization, because when we are hiring people, we always try to make sure that we are hiring mix of skill set and the mindset, because it is easier to teach people the technology, because technology keeps on changing. So if people foundation is strong, we can always teach them, but we cannot teach them how they think, collaborate, or focus on problem solving. So this is the one of the focus area that we try to bring people with the mixed mindset and skill set.
Yep, that's a great thing. Anything that you would like to share, because you are going to colleges, any funny incident occurs to you that you would like to share?
So whenever we go to colleges, there is a process that we follow. People appear for the exam, then interviews happen, and then we do HR cultural round in the final. And this is something I would say, I will not say weird, but I'll say something very funny, because students these days, they try to just mug up things, right? So in the HR interview, I asked someone that what they know about MTX, and you would not believe what they said. They said it's a manufacturing organization. So generally people they don't they just go and try to mug up things, and then they don't try to go in the depth and then understand, read about the organization, what is their vision, all of that, because this is something that they should always be prepared when they're appearing for or going for any interview. Okay, Harshit, so you always say that we are in a people business. So can you share any of the example where you can share with us that this philosophy has really paid off?
Yes, I do believe at the end of the day, we are not in a product or the technology company. We are in a people business, because it's the people who are building the product, serving our customer, and making sure that they are building the culture along the way. I'll share one incident during the COVID times when there were certain need of a certain technology should be available in the market who can support the COVID solution, and client timeline was very tight. client was very furious that okay, whether the organization would be able to deliver that on the timely manner or not. So always the first instinct come into the mind is push harder. That means that will is going to lead to the more work pressure, long hours, late nights. But during that time, what we did is we communicated to everyone that what's the bigger purpose that we want to solve over here, and we explain and we listen more about explaining things. We listen to our people what their need is to support this particular cause, and they asked for a lot of things, and we provided most of the things to them to make sure that they can deliver the as per the expectation of the client. And we were frequently checking with the all the people who was working hard. Ultimately at the result, uh, they not only deliver the things but they over delivered. So that proves, and that makes my belief very strong, is that we just need to believe and provide the support to the people, and ultimately if we are taking care of them, they will take care of the business. So that's what I do believe, and it's ultimately mindset. Yeah, processes, automation, uh, HR things related to the processes, all are important, but at the end of the day, it's people who is actually creating the culture for us and creating the values for the customer at the end of the day. So that's what I do really believe in.
Talking about COVID times, it actually reminds me that I just joined 2 months before COVID hit, and I would say, coming from IT industry and previous experiences, I would say that we did really well in the way we made sure that people are connected during the COVID times, because I remember that how hard everyone was working, and then we almost grew 2x during the COVID time. So I think that was wonderful, where a lot of the companies just struggle when people are working remotely, and then we just did wonderful in the way we grew the organization, and then how every leader was so much invested in the culture to make sure that everyone is connected, growing, and also learning at the same time.
So, Sapna, I have a question for you. So, in the growing organization like us, how do you keep people motivated and aligned at the same time?
Any organization, when they grow, it's important that they make sure people are closely connected with each other, and then there is a transparency, and people know that they just don't know how we are growing, but also they know why we are growing. So it's very important. So in MTX, we have always tried to make sure that people are closely connected with the leadership team, and there is a transparency through various channels. We have leadership continuously meeting one on one with everyone. We do all hands call, where Das comes and talks about vision, what are the milestones, and then rewarding people who are doing great work in the organization. So by making sure these couple of things, like providing clarity, transparency, and rewarding people for great performance, so this has actually helped us keeping people aligned as we are scaling the organization.
That's great.
So, Harshit, when we are talking about scaling the organization, and then we are talking about maintaining people connected with the organization, providing transparency, so performance management is something which is very important for every organization, right? And sometimes it does sound like a corporate buzzword. So, what is your take? How do you think, or how have you made it more meaningful rather than just a mechanical process? Because we have to roll out so many feedback forms, people have to fill it, and then so what is your take in that?
Yes. So, performance management, often people think like it's a HR activity, lot of forms, rating, year-end discussion, and sometimes it become mechanical as well. But I do see performance management as more of a enablement for the individual. I see as a in three parts, which so it can be a meaningful for everyone. One is clarity, that how often we are providing the clarity to the individual as a manager, as a mentor, so they can be well connected with the overall vision of the organization. The second thing that we do focus on the growth mindset. So for the growth mindset, the performance discussion should not be one way communication. It has to be a two-way communication, and they should also feel like whatever they have contributed to the organization, they feel connected with the organization. And then as a manager, you should always provide them the growth path along the way. It should not be a year end conversation. The third thing is consistency. that you are connecting with your team members or your subordinate on the regular basis. So they feel like, okay, every time we are connecting with the leaders, they are providing the information about the new strategy that's taking into the place, any changes happening into the organization, or we are growing into the certain market, what are the opportunity it's bringing for themselves. So ultimately with these three pillars, people can evolve and grow as a professionally, financially as well in the organization. And they should not think like, okay, it's just a form. It's more about having a two-way communication throughout the year, so they can help each other to grow. In that sense, I always look the performance management.
Because I absolutely agree with this, because performance management is something which is a continuous process. It should not happen that, oh, 1 year has completed now, the manager or leader will have to submit the feedback. So it's, I think by making it continuous, we can make it more meaningful. I think we had some great conversation around strategy, leadership, culture, people, and not sure if it sounded boring to to people listening, but I have few fun questions as well, Harshit, to ask you. And this is something that I wanted to ask before, because we could see a huge transformation in you. You have lost 15 plus kgs weight in last 3 months. So how did you actually do that? A lot of people would want to know the answer.
So reducing the weight is not a difficult thing. It's all about why I'm doing it. So actually, I'll share the funny story that I took a vacation with my family, went to a Goa. We were on a beach. My 3-year-old was running on a beach, and it was quite difficult for me to chase him because I was 100 kg at that period of time. And then I took a challenge. Okay, let's reduce the weight again. I reduced the weight multiple times before, but this time the difference is I just want to make sure that how can I make it part of my daily life. That's where I am focusing right now. I'll reduce few more kgs. That's perfectly fine. Anyone can do that. But making it part of your daily life, it's a difficult thing. And again, when we are working in the corporate sector, we sometimes we forget about our health. And at the same time, I'm quite foodie as well. So I just make sure that I just want to go through the journey and then want to focus on how can I be very consistent, because being a consistent is a very boring job. When you live in Jaipur and India, food is a big part of your life. So that's where I'm focusing on, and maybe in 3 to 4 months I'll be there where I want to be.
So how many cheat days do you have in a week?
I don't count. I do have cheat days, but I don't count.
What is your favorite food, so that you make sure on cheat day you go and eat that?
I love all kind of food, so every time there is a new dish that I want to try.
And would you like to share your trainer number with everyone?
Not as of now. You don't know. Maybe in the future I'll become a fitness coach. If I'm not in the IT, probably that would be my second
Fitness coach. Oh, I think this is going to be very inspiring for a lot of people who've been trying a lot, giving fees to the gym and never showing up. So I think this is going to inspire a lot of people.
Yes, definitely. That's what I'm trying for. And I have just one last question: that how do you look so energetic when you are managing the HR and as well as dealing with the people all day?
To your question, I'll say that the energy come from people themselves, because I'm in HR, right? So when I interact with people, I hear their, concerns, problem, and then when I'm actually able to help them provide solutions to their, the problem they are facing. So this kinds of motivates me, right? But yes, I also take break from the work, and I have 2-year-old, and she's my stress buster, because when I go with her, I play with her, I just forget everything. I go on walks with her. I play with her small game, like she has her tea set where we sit together, make teas for everyone. We just pretend to make tea. So I think she is my great stress buster, and just I enjoy my time with her, and I just forget about everything. So this gives me or re-energizes me again.
This is such a great conversation, and thanks for joining me.
Thank you so much, Harshit, for being so open, and it was a great conversation with you. Thank you everyone for joining the podcast, and stay tuned for the next episode.